turn, there it is.
And I'm going to do the attendance report for Kim.
Okay. Ready? Call this meeting to order. Let the record show Raleigh County Board of Education is in regular session, November 26, 2024. All board members are present except Mr. Ford. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda as was submitted to you.
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we're down to, we have no recognitions, right? Down to board reports. There's no delegations either, right? Okay. Ms. Hamrick?
I have nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing at all.
All right.
No, sir, I'm good. Just glad to have you back.
Me
Well,
too.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Marcia?
Judged Hollywood Social Studies Science Fair.
Okay.
It's the only
Good
thing
deal.
I've done. And it was fun. The kids gave some good reports on their projects.
Good
It was
deal.
good.
Well, I'm glad to be back. It's actually 1 month today that I was in the ER at Raleigh General, and that's when the journey started. And it's been quite a journey, but I'm here.
Glad you're
As Charlotte said, you don't lose weight, but you don't want to lose it that fast, probably that quick with thing. But I will give credit. I mean, I've been a career at Raleigh General, but Dr. Cashup and the staff up there and the surgeons, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I had a golf ball size hole in my size of my stomach, and I was aspirating into my body cavity. So I was lucky I didn't get septic, and they was able to get that stopped, the bleeding. And I will tell you this: after 17 days, it was good to take a sip of water. I hadn't had a sip of water in 17 days, so I did that. And then today I went back to him, and I actually got to start having like smoothies and stuff. This week before I was able to have pudding and some stuff like that, but now I can have mashed potatoes and a few things like that. I haven't tried it yet, but it's all, you would think that'd be easy, but the digestion's not there. I still have a feeding tube in. If you see a little knot there on my thing, and they'll probably leave it in there for another month. I got little shakes that I feed myself once in a while. I was doing 6 a day, but now that I've got squared around, I'm limiting it back to 4 and probably maybe even 3, depending on how much I take in the other way. So it's been good. Well, it's not been good, but it's been a good journey. And I do appreciate everybody's prayers and thoughts, and people reach out to me. I really do. I thank you so much for that. Dr. Starcher.
Well, I'll echo, it's nice, it's great to have you back.
Well, thank you.
It's good to see you, and a nice Thanksgiving treat
Yes.
for all of us. So I have several things I want to provide updates on in no particular order. So Ms. Hodges and I attended a meeting with the Contractors Association of West Virginia last week, and she said, we've never felt so out of place, but I told her it was good. In response to a bill that passed through the legislative session, the regular session, House Bill 5162, school systems are required starting next year to have apprenticeships for students, and students can earn secondary credit for those apprenticeships. So working with Dr. Stewart at Tech, he connected us with Contractors Association. We did learn that I guess around the state there are some concerns about the bill, that local entities or local businesses aren't necessarily wanting to do apprenticeships.
Right.
So we'll be working on that throughout the year with Ms. Hodges and Mr. Pack. Mr. Pack participated, but he had to participate virtually since we had no water at ACT and we were struggling there. So anyway, we did attend that, and talking about what we might be able to do here in Raleigh County to bring some of our local contractors and businesses together to support us with that. So that was last week. Last week we did, Mr. Ford, Mr. Butcher, and I went to the SBA to present our needs project for Woodrow Wilson High School. I will say I believe the science fair is next week when we come back. It's next Saturday. If any of you like to go to the county science fair, that will be next Saturday, not, I think that's December 6th, I think is the date, 6th or 7th, whatever that Saturday is. I apologize, I don't have the date. We will also be having a booth again over at the exhibition coal mine for the Coal Town Christmas that same weekend, Friday and Saturday nights. In terms of our projects, the water line is moving along. As you know, we had to we had to move school for ACT last week because the water line ruptured at ACT, and we just decided to divert around the existing water line and start installing the new one. So that project's moving along, nearing completion. Park Gym, I just submitted another time extension request today to the SBA. It will be sometime late winter, spring, before we're really into the gym. So the SBA recommended I just go ahead and request an extension through June 30th. So I submitted that. It'll be on the SBA's agenda in December.
Is there any penalty for Radford for not getting the job done on time? I mean, is there any clause in there? We used to put a clause in there. Is there anything that penalizes them for not doing their work?
There are clauses in some of our contracts. I would have to look specifically at that contract,
Yeah.
and I've not done that.
You should have known that.
But
That should have
It's
been a
nothing
given.
new.
There-
That should have been a given.
So, yes, there's typically some type of clause that you can start assessing penalty
Well, I mean,
for
it's just
that.
not fair to other contractors if they bid on a contract that gives so many days. Of course, they've extended it days. I know that timetable, SBA's give them a lot longer to do it than it used to.
That is correct.
So
Yes.
they probably are within that, but still, yeah, it makes it hard
So-
to compete with that.
So we're working through that, and then the Stratton parking lot, Mr. Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the end of next week, by the end of next week, that parking lot should be pretty close to finished, maybe except for striping, correct?
Striping actually occurred yesterday,
Oh, okay.
but they still have to do the light poles, more electrical work.
That's what it was. It's the light poles. So that
Great.
parking lot has come along very quickly. That company's been very good to work with. It's good. That's
Good deal.
Stratton. Yes. So
I didn't realize that Parks Gym is not gonna have a concession stand.
it is not. That is correct.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that until like maybe last week. And maybe because I didn't pay attention, I don't know, but I didn't realize that.
It does not have a set aside, if you will, or a constructed concession stand. Yes. That's correct.
Was that the architect's decision, our decision? Whose decision was
I
that?
don't know.
I can say that was new to me at our last meeting, that it was not going to have a concession stand. So it wasn't designed to have a concession stand. I know we're very limited in space there, fitting the gym and the locker rooms, restrooms. We were quite limited in being able to fit that
On the
into that
footprint.
space. Yes. So, can I say 100% certain that's why there's not a concession stand? I can't tell you that today, but I suspect that has, I need to ask the architect that. He wasn't at our last meeting. But I do intend to ask him. I mean, it's beyond having a concession stand at this point, but I do believe it must have had something to do with our limited space.
Well, express to him the board disappointment in that,
Yeah.
because if he wants business in the future, they better communicate a little
It
better.
seems like we would've been told or something.
No,
I-
no, but.
I didn't know, and yeah, we missed that in the design, but again, it really could be due to just limited space, where actually, I know Mr. Butcher and Mr. Dillon have been in communication with Bill File, I believe it is, over some other issues with the property and setbacks and so forth. So I'll probably be coming back to you in December with more information about that. I know the two of them have been trying to work some things out with the property. But I will share that with Mr. Ferguson. I intended to do that anyway.
Tell Mr. Ferguson, tell him he better put his hat
I
on
mean-
and figure out how he can put a portable or something in there somewhere.
Well, and the bigger issue, as you all know, is the school isn't connected to the gym.
Right.
So, one could say, well, maybe we could use a room or something, but they're not even connected. So it's It's not a good situation.
Right.
A couple things I wanted to hand out at our well, let me do this first. Mr. Dillon, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Butcher, and I, to an extent, it's time for the CEFP annual update. Mr. Dillon led this work. We have to do that every year by December 1st. Somebody has a color copy. Everybody else has a black and white, so I apologize. No, you can keep it. But this is, as you all know, every 10 years we do create our CEFP, and then this this is our annual update. Now, we do our annual update. We just keep it kind of as a running log, so we include the years as well. That section 1.0, those are our 7 priorities that are in the CEFP, so you'll see some updates about those. And then starting in 2.0, this is just the major facility work we do every year, whether it be replacing a roof or upgrading bleachers to be ADA compliant, water heaters, painting, and anything of that sort. You can see that by school, it's alphabetical. You can see the money that we have spent on it, and if that was local, federal, state funds. Okay, so Mr. Dillon submitted that today. So I just wanted to give that to you. Do you have any questions about that for me? You can look at it, and then if you have any questions later, you can always ask me. And then the last thing I wanted to provide, I heard Dr. Hutchins, I'd been working on this, but I heard Dr. Hutchins ask a few questions at our last LSIC meeting. That's one packet. And I apologize, I can't get the fancy stapler to work as well as Ms. Daniel. I guess there's a page limit, and I didn't know that until today. But I had heard Dr. Hutchins ask several questions, or ask several schools about their enrollment. So what I've prepared for you, starting in 1819 through the present, is the enrollment for each of our elementary schools for each of those years by grade. And the light green, and typically that's back in 1920, typically. That would have been the highest enrollment for that particular school over the last several years. And then the number in yellow is the change in enrollment from 1819 to the present. Now, one thing you'll see from 1819 to 23-24, I noted that I took that information from the State Department's website, and it's called School Composition Data. For this current year, that's not up there, so I use second month. So anyway, that gives you an idea of our enrollment by elementary school. And I chose 1819 because that's the first year Ridgeview operated, so I just started with 1819. So I wanted to give you each that.
Well, it's pretty scary.
It
Yeah,
is
it is
very
scary.
scary.
I mean, Daniels and Fairdale are hemorrhaging.
You know, and I
And
expect a
Beckley
little
and
bit of that
Bradley,
from Fairdale, but I don't expect it from Daniels.
they've been dropping.
And Ridgeview, practically a new school down,
Bradley
80?
down 131.
Yeah, I saw
Beckley,
Bradley.
126.
Oh my gosh.
But, and I think you have to also look at it as it's all relative as well. Like, let's look at Maxwell Hill, for instance. Maxwell Hill, since I came here in 15, it was a school that had two classrooms per grade. So for them to lose 45 kids, that's a lot for a school with only 2 classrooms per grade. You can look at, where was it, Clear Fork, on the first page. Now typically Clear Fork has 1 per grade, but in that same time period, Clear Fork's lost 42 students. So it's relative. 100 says a lot when it's a big school, but,
Yeah.
or one of our larger schools. The reason on Coal City and Stratton that I added that column, no pre-K, I took out pre-K for them because many times their numbers are inflated in pre-K because of the Sophia and Central Head Starts. So I just separated them out so you'd get a truer idea of what they've lost or gained. When you look at this, I think it's 2 schools, but maybe 1. I think it's 2. 2 schools have actually gained or increased in enrollment during that time period. Everyone else has dropped, and some have dropped significantly. So I wanted to give you this, just for information.
Well, and that will be reflected then on the middle school and the high school when those numbers come. Those classes move up. If you noticed on a lot of those, the smallest classes are the classes in the 4th and 5th grades.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
So that's gonna, I mean, I noticed, Fairdale, they actually have a decent class in their, I think their 3rd and 2nd grade, but their 3rd and 4th grade are tremendously small compared to
Yeah.
others, yeah.
So,
Did you read the article where Superintendent Blatt was talking about the drop in enrollment across the state of West Virginia?
Yeah,
I think she said
That's
this
kind
year
of
was
scary, too.
the highest number of school closures that she can recall in one single year. I mean, Kanawha County, I think it's either 3 or 4 elementary. It's closing to make 1 elementary school, and then it's closing 2 middle schools into existing schools. They're not building middle school. And that's a lot, I mean, for Kanawha County. But anyway, I wanted to give you that, so you can look at that, and that's all I have.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. It's not. It's not.
I don't want to be stingy on stuff, and I appreciate this, because how hard would it be to go ahead and give us the middle school and high school data?
I can give that to you.
Okay, just,
Yes. I can have it December 10th.
yeah, I just, something.
No problem.
Okay, okay, that concludes the report. Superintendent, you said you're going to be giving Ms. Lacy's report for attendance?
Yes. Miss Lacy, I told her, she had church this evening, so I told her I would give the report. In the 3rd month, our attendance percentage was 91.011, which is a decrease of just over 1% from the 2nd month. Our enrollment, we've lost 33 students during, or a loss of a total of 33 from the 2nd month to 3rd month. Now, again, that does not include pre-K.
Right.
Okay. And then we had 2 high school exits. The last piece is this month, or we now have a total of 1,068 homeschool students, 21 homebound, 52 alternative, and a total, for the months of September and October, a total of 63 new Hope Scholarship students.
How many on the Hope? What was it say?
63.
Since when?
The last 2 months total. So that would be September and October, a total of 63.
Wow.
So that coupled with these numbers, Dr. Hutchins, it's bad.
Yeah, just bad.
It's bad.
No way to say it, but bad.
It's bad, yeah.
Okay. Any questions about Ms. Lacy's report? Hearing none. There's no unfinished business. Pause procedures, we have none. Consent items. Any items in there that anyone wants to pull out and vote on separately? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent items as were submitted to you.
So moved.
Have a second, have a moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consider approval of revision submissions for Woodrow Wilson Needs Project, Building Authority. Dr. Starcher.
So last week, last Monday, in fact, I presented our project at the SBA. And as part of the discussion, the question came up about tearing down E-building as part of the project. And the authority was not very, they didn't like that all that much. So as Mr. Ford, Mr. Butcher, and I drove back to Beckley, I said, Mr. Pack has asked for some time to build an addition at ACT for adult learning, particularly to bring the adult basic education program on campus. Now, the thought was to build on the ACT, but we visited E-building that same day with Mr. Pack and Mr. Dillon, Mr. Butcher and myself. So we have revised our needs project to include keeping E-Building and turning it into an adult learning center should we receive the project. In discussion with Mr. Pack, we not only could return or could bring adult basic ed to the campus, but he would look at some of his adult programs, talk with his staff and so forth, and make that an adult learning center, creating space in the existing ACT to add more students for our more programs for our secondary students. I did stress to the SBA that we could not do anything of that nature until, obviously, if we received the project, the needs project.
We have to finish the needs project first.
Yes, 'cause it would take some renovations. We would need to renovate or replace the HVAC system. We would have to install new windows. We did not do the windows in E-Building when we did the window replacement for Woodrow. So we have some, and a new roof. It would need a new roof. So we have some renovations. ZMM has looked at that and said it would probably be about $3.5 million. But that's just an estimate at this point in time. But I did stress to the authority that we could not do anything of that nature until we actually had completed the NEAS project. We also, working with Mr. Butcher, we would like, he says we have the money already for the permanent improvement. We talked about it that day of increasing our commitment to 15 million instead of the roughly 14 million. So we would be putting about 55% instead of a 50% match. It's very competitive this year. So anyway, the revisions to that needs project are before you for approval and, or consideration and approval. If you do approve this, I will send it to the SBA this evening before we go home for break. And then we'll find out on December 16th.
You've heard the superintendent's explanation of that. You have the recognition, the recommended changes. I need a motion first to approve the changes. You have a motion.
I move we approve the revised submission of the needs project.
Okay, have a second? Second. Good deal. As far as discussion, I just want to say, I think that's smart to add a little, I don't want to say a little carrot out there to the SBA, but to try to incentivize them to show we're serious about the project. We always have. Raleigh County's always come with money to the table. We're not sitting there for handouts saying, hey, fund all this for us. So we need a new roof on a garage somewhere. So we're serious to put our money and our things in there. So I think it's a wise thing to do, and hopefully the SBA will agree with that and fund our project, because it'll really put us, way ahead as far as our project needs and our for the county if we can do this.
I failed to say, it's not in the needs project, but I have also communicated to the authority that we can take a multi-year project, multi-funded
Yeah.
project. Some counties can't do that,
Right.
but we're blessed and
We can do it.
we can for this project. So I have communicated that as well.
Jerry Maguire said, just show me the money. Just show me the money.
That's
Just
where
show
we
me the money.
are.
That's all I care. Show me the money, baby. Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of acknowledgement of Mount Tabor Christian School closure effective 10/31/24. You should have a letter in there, I believe, affecting that. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Unless anybody wants to say anything. Do I? Yeah.
Yes, the board approved it as an exemption B school on December 19th, 1994.
Yeah.
Since you approved it, you also have to approve it
This
leaving.
Yeah, okay. All right, I understand motion to approve that.
So moved.
Have a second? Properly moved second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Consider approval MOU with Marshall University and Raleigh County Schools for direct mission of students, 24-25. The agreement was in our packet. Is there anything you want to say about that?
I have nothing specific to say. If you've read the MOU and have any questions, we can answer them, Ms. Hodges
Have
or
we
I.
utilized this before?
This is new.
that's what I thought.
Marshall University reached out to myself, and then Ms. Hodges and I met with Dr. Ross virtually to discuss it, but no, this would be something new.
Because I don't see a negative for us in it. That's what I was saying.
Not
I
at
didn't-
all.
That's, I mean, not, unless I was missing something. Okay, you have the agreement in your packet there. I entertain a motion to approve it as was submitted to you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Marie. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say by saying aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay. Approve the superintendent's recommendations for 2024-25. Any corrections or additions?
No changes.
Whoa.
My recommendation is as presented.
You sure you want to look at that again? Okay.
I've been made aware of no changes.
Okay. You've heard the superintendent's recommendations. That have a motion to accept those recommendations as were submitted to you. Charlotte moved, second?
Second.
Marie, okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say by saying aye. All opposed, motion carries. Approved contract speech therapist as needed, Amber Wilson. I think we've done this a number of times to do it. It's pretty self-explanatory, so entertain a motion to approve that contract for special ed as needed.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say by saying aye. All opposed, motion carries. Approved suspension of teacher,
I move we go into executive session, please.
okay.
Second.
Second, all right. We have a motion to go to executive session at 5 till 6. We're in executive session.
It's Rick's fault. He talked
BJ
too
needs
long.
Yeah, yeah. I told him I was.
Mr. Snuffer, sorry.
Say for a change, it was us.
Yeah.
Rick changed,
Okay, let the,
but we could blame Rick.
right, let the record show we're back out of executive session at 22 the hour. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation or the name for the teacher for suspension?
Yes, the name is Mary Barbera.
Okay, you heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion to do such?
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second? Probably moved in second. All in favor, so I'm saying aye. All opposed, motion carries. All our items on the agenda. Have a very happy Thanksgiving and eat some turkey for me. Bye.
Thank you,